So there was a time in my life when I did ask myself, is this it? This is like, I feel like a hamster on a wheel going round and round. This is like, if this is life, like, I just want to get off that wheel. This is like, not going anywhere. Nothing's happening for me. And I soon realized through journaling, no. Life is just starting. Midlife is the new beginning. And for women, women are the people that are dear to my heart, but it's for everybody that's aging and getting older. But a lot of women, especially women, we've been brought up and programmed to people please. And so when we get to a certain age, I don't have my own children, but women that do have children, we get to a certain age and we have been doing something for someone else our entire lives. And then we go, is this it? And then their answer to their question most times is, well, I guess it is. I'm too old. I'm too old to do anything else. I'm too old to start something new. And I'm like, hell no. You're just getting started. This is the next chapter of your life. And if you plan to live a healthy life till you're at least 100, you've still got half your life to go. So you either keep doing what you're doing now, and how's that working for you? Or you start digging deep and try to remember the stuff that brought you joy before you had kids, before you got married, before you had all these responsibilities, and start trying them.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truth That Heals podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez, and today we have a special guest coming all the way from up north. Coming from Canada is our guest today, Jules. Jewel, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and thank you for having me on your podcast. It's a real pleasure.
So something that I saw that you do is you do mental health advocacy. You're also a life coach, and also you are, one could say, a guru in journaling. So you're doing quite a few things. But in your words, can you share with us what it is that you do and what is it that you're most passionate about from the work that you do?
Absolutely. So I still have a full-time day job. And my day job actually is working for a nonprofit organization. And I teach English in the workplace, and I work with immigrants and refugees. And I absolutely love it. This September, it'll be 19 years since I've been with this organization. But I've also been looking at financial freedom and what that looks like. And it has to be connected to something that I'm very passionate about. And mental health is something that I'm extremely passionate about. Without going into a big long story, maybe you'll have some questions based on what I say right now. But I have dealt with childhood trauma, and I have dealt with bullying, and so journaling and addiction. So journaling has helped me. That's been my central piece for healing, because being able to get your thoughts from here onto a piece of paper has been scientifically proven to take you from a sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight and flight, and where your heart is racing, your chest is tight, down to a parasympathetic nervous system where you're in rest and digest and you're calm, just by picking up a piece of paper and a pen. And to me, that is what's been central in my life throughout the decades. And I just started realizing that a few years ago when I got into printing, just print on demand journals on Amazon. And then I created a premium guided mental health journal for myself, because I don't mind the empty page, but I also love the idea of prompts, like every day asking myself a couple of questions, which is what guided journaling means. But I also wanted room to write my thoughts out. And so every day this journal will ask me, how am I feeling emotionally, but also how I'm feeling physically? How's my body feeling? Because I've been in and out of therapy, and therapy is amazing, but I haven't always been able to afford it. And so the asking both the emotional and physical is what we call somatic, and it's really helped me heal. So all of this led to me thinking, well, if this journal works for me, maybe it might work for someone else. And I decided to jump into selling it on Amazon. So I hired a coach, a mentor. It took almost a year to get it on the market. I just launched the spiral version of it. And then all of a sudden, it just felt like this was more than just selling a product. It felt like a calling for me because I've always been in a position of helping people or helping animals. I mean, that's my other passion is helping homeless and abused animals. And so I thought, oh, maybe women want to hear my story. So I opened up a YouTube channel called Rise with Jewels to talk about trauma, addiction, and menopause and all of these things, and a community for women to talk about these things. And I don't know, it just happened. It was organic. And here I am now, and I'm looking at within the next 2 years being able to exit a job that I've had for many years and do this full time and help people. So, yeah.
When did you apply journaling to be part of your personal toolkit? Like when did it connect with you?
As a child, in just even when I was a child, I just didn't understand that it was healing. I started off even, in school. Our teacher gave us a project where we had a pen pal. I don't know, some people may understand what that means. It's someone from another province or state or whatever. You reach out through your teachers and you start writing to each other. It's called a pen pal, and that's a very old thing that we used to do when I was growing up. And then I just started keeping a journal, but in my home, to write your feelings on a piece of paper was very dangerous because it wasn't safe and I would have to hide these things. So yeah, I listen, I love my parents very much. They loved me, but they were victims of their own environment growing up, and due to that there was a lot of abuse, both physically and verbally, and journaling was my way of getting out of my head. But at the time, like I said, I didn't know that's what I was doing. I just knew I needed to get the thoughts out. I needed to write them down. And it was later in life that I realized how therapeutic journaling is. And if therapy is accessible to you, and it was to me at times, therapy and journaling together, wow, it's just so amazing. But journaling's been a part of my life, I would say, from early childhood.
Okay, and what was there like an aha moment where, because there was a period where you said that you had to hide the journaling, but was there a period where you just took ownership and you just
Mhm.
embraced journaling and were no longer afraid? Like when did you reach that ability to no longer have to hide it?
At 18 years of age when I moved out of my house. Yeah. And I would say there was probably a period of time where I didn't do any journaling because then I was caught up in addiction, which ramped up over the decades. And that is something else that I talk about on my YouTube channel. But alcohol was my way of numbing. And that started at the age of 13, sitting in a baseball dugout with friends, drinking in the middle of the afternoon before I head to school. And then my friends smelling it on my breath and pulling me out of the classroom to take me to the bathroom to say, "What the hell are you thinking?" But these were ways for me to numb, and I needed to numb. I've got so many stories, and then it took me years to realize that blackouts and passing out, they're two very different things. And
Mhm.
but yeah, I wasn't able to take ownership of the journaling until I was safely out of my parents' home because my mother would go through all of my stuff on a regular basis, and she, over the decades, over the years, found many things that were incriminating on my part because I was just a kid trying to explore, and so yeah, it was a journey. It was a journey, but and then like I said, there was a period of time where I didn't do any journaling. I was too busy drinking and partying, and then journaling came back into my life in my 30s when I'm a seeker, when I also was trying to find a path that worked for me, and it ended up being Buddhism. And I started meditating regularly and going to Shambhala Society, which is here in Halifax. A very famous Buddhist from Tibet came here through the States. He came through, well, Tibet, and then he escaped the war, and he ended up in Halifax, of all places, and opened up an international society here. And I used to go there on a regular basis. And so one of the things we would do when we would be doing retreats would be to meditate all day and then journal. And that's when it really, really, really sunk in that, wow, this is healing.
When people who aren't addicted to something and they look at others, many times
Mhm.
they look down on them, or
Yep.
many times they're judgmental and have a lot of
Mhm.
put a lot of guilt on these persons. What is your view of addiction today? Now that you can look back.
I have so much compassion for anybody that's addicted to anything. It's our dopamine. It's a hormone in our body that is it's looking for its hit. And depending on what type of addiction you have, it could be to this, right? I'm addicted to this these days. Like I'm working on that addiction now. But I have so much compassion. There's no judgment in my body when it comes to addiction. And Gabor Mate, a Canadian doctor who works with addiction, and he's worked with the worst people. Like I don't mean worst in like they're bad people. I mean like the level of addiction on heroin and opiates in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Canada. And he talks about the fact that you don't ask why the addiction, you ask why the pain.
Mm.
And that changed my life, right? I've been working on addiction for decades. I have only been sober for a little over a year. I have quit, started, quit, started, quit, started, quit, started so many times. It's a broken record. One of my YouTube videos is called 1000 Day Ones, right? Yeah.
And that simple question, switching it up a little bit, not
Hmm.
why the addiction, but what was the wording?
Why the pain?
That really causes one to really reflect a little
Yep.
deeper.
Yep.
Sometimes it's scary to really like, because you have to go back into your memories and figure out exactly why. But it also opens up to some awesome journaling. I bet it's going to
Yep.
have some great journaling
Absolutely.
and find some answers. And that leads me to your work with journaling, because you mentioned how at times you use prompts and like guided journaling.
Hmm.
Um, how much of a transformation have you seen since you started applying these techniques?
So much. I don't know if I'd have a YouTube channel or a community for women or any of these things if I hadn't journaled the way I did, quit drinking, like all of these things. I feel journaling has been at the core for me to be able to be where I am and who I am right now. And I do not have it all figured out. I am still dealing with trauma. I have a jaw issue. I've had surgery, and I'm 59, and I just recently had an aha moment at a meditation session where I'm like, wait a minute, my throat chakra, it's blocked. There's something going on. I need to get to the core of that. So there's still stuff inside that I still haven't figured out, but that's okay. We don't have to have it all figured out overnight. Um, I think I went on a rant, so I don't know if I answered your question.
No, 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 you're good. Going with the techniques of like these prompts, are
Yeah.
there any prompts over the years that you look back that, wow, that really helped me get through that day, or wow, that prompt that I looked at, it really helped me figure something out. Can you mention a few? if any?
Absolutely. And they're in my Breathe journal. What I realized is that, yeah, you can write and write and write and write, and I do that too. I do that too. I call those brain dumps, and especially if your anxiety level is really high, one of the sections in my journal is a brain dump section. If your anxiety is high and you just want to bring it down, you just write everything that's in your head and you just write it down, whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter, right? And then you challenge some of those negative thoughts because probably most of them are negative. But on a daily basis, what's really helped me over the decades is simple prompts. And it's every morning, my journal will ask me, how are you feeling emotionally? Just write down, how are you feeling emotionally? What's going on? And I also have an emotion wheel that helps people dig deeper into the adjectives instead of just saying happy, sad, angry, frustrated. Okay, if you're happy, what are some other adjectives that you can use to actually get to the core of your feeling and really, really dig deep into how you're actually really feeling? Is that happiness joy? And if it's joy, why is it joy? And so I do that every morning. And then the other one is my body. Because you can't ask your mind how it's feeling without asking your body how it's reacting. Because for every feeling emotionally we have a physical reaction. And that is somatic, and that is healing in of itself is healing. Now, if you can do therapy at the same time, like I highly recommend it. But if you can't, journaling is a great place to be every day. And if you miss a day or two, no shame, no guilt. That is a problem people have. The other things that I do every day is what needs my attention. Some days I don't know, so I write my to-do list get to-do list. I just don't know what needs my attention, so I just write a to-do list. The other two things that I do every single day is a mantra, so an intention. I am worthy. Things like that. I love myself just the way I am. Something that I need that day. And I write down what I'm grateful for. This morning it was 0 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. But man, it was chilly this morning. So I wrote, I really appreciate the fact that I have a warm apartment to live in when right now in our city and worldwide, there are so many people living in tents outside, like more than I've ever seen in my life. So just writing that down on a piece of paper. So I do those, that's my core every day, every day. And then if I have some more thoughts and feelings, then I start just free writing.
Do you journal every day, or are there some days where you skip?
Oh, I miss days. Yes, of course I do. I get up and I'm in reaction mode because I'm running a business and my manufacturer is telling me that something's late getting on the ship and I have to react to it. And then the next thing I know, it's halfway through the day and I haven't journaled. I try to journal every day, but I don't. Absolutely. Yeah.
And do
I'm
you,
human.
yeah, but do you feel like something is missing, or are you okay?
I would say a little bit of both. There used to be guilt and shame years ago, but I've worked on that to the point where I am in a place now where, oh, I wish I had a journal, but I'm able to just let it go because it's there as a tool.
Mm.
It's a mental health tool for your toolbox. And if you think it's a chore, if you start using it and thinking, oh, I have to journal today, then it stops working. Yeah. So yeah, I will sometimes think, oh, I wish I had a journal. Oh, I missed today. But then I just flip the page and start journaling the next day.
So earlier you were talking about also the power of meditation and that how it helped
Yeah.
you to see, with your throat. Um, what does meditation look like to you? Like, I mean, for me, uh, I could say meditation is just closing your eyes and thinking, but maybe that's not the correct interpretation, correct definition. How would you paint the picture for us?
Well, I think meditation is going to be different for everybody. And again, that can be one of those things that if I say, well, it needs to be 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night, you need to be on a cushion and you need silence, that's going to scare most people away. Thich Nhat Hanh would say meditation and being in the present moment can be anything and everywhere. Like if you're standing there at the sink and you're washing your dishes, being present, that is a form of meditation. Walking outside and noticing a bumblebee, like taking in some nectar and noticing it, not just walking by it, that can also be meditation. But meditation can also be, and I do both, is to sit down on the couch sometimes because I'm getting older. My back is sore sometimes, so I don't always sit on the Buddhist cushion. But I do still have my Buddhist cushion that I use. But most mornings, meditation for me looks like sitting on the couch with my cup of coffee after I've fed my two demanding cats
Mhm.
and putting on a an app and doing a guided meditation and listening to the person tell me what I should be doing and how I should be breathing. Sometimes it's 12 minutes, sometimes it's 20. But then other times when I need deeper, I'll go to a center and I'll do a 20-minute silent meditation. And I like and retreats. If I can do a retreat once a year, I love it. And that's intense though. That's not for everybody. That's like 7 days of meditation all day, except for meals.
Mhm.
But I enjoy that too. So meditation is a lot of different things.
Yeah.
It's
So,
what works for you. It's what works for you to be able to slow down and slow your breath and notice your breath.
mm,
That's notice your breath. Because isn't that interesting how breathing is automatic, but without it, we wouldn't be here.
I just had I was just thinking about your friends back in school
Yeah.
who noticed your breath and they had to pull you out because you were
Yeah.
saying that you. So
Oh my God.
I was just thinking, those were good friends. They were watching your back. But now that we're adults, it'd
Yeah.
be
Yep.
nice if we have some friends who are like, "Hey, are you breathing okay? Like, hey, let's
Yeah.
let's go. Let's go. It doesn't have to be to the bathroom. Let's go outside. Let's get some. Let's regulate our breathing.
Yeah.
Inhale, exhale. I mean, I think that would be nice to have some friends like that who can
I check in
notice.
on friends sometimes. So if your listeners are thinking about something nice to do for a friend, everybody has their phone. I got this from the Huberman podcast, and he says like he will text his closest friends almost every day. Again, no shame if you don't. How you doing? What's going on? Just checking in on you. Have you checked your breath? Like anything. Like, and I have a friend who I check in on a regular basis, and we both check in on each other. And when I hear from my friends, it's beautiful. So yeah, checking in on your friends once in a while, even if you don't have time to call, just text. How you doing? You need
So,
anything?
well, thank you so much. You've shared with us the beautiful tools of journaling, meditation, and connection with our brothers and sisters, checking in on each person as much as you can. But also wanted to touch on something that you mentioned earlier, and that
Mhm,
is the reality of midlife, of
mhm.
aging. Can you share with us a bit about your journey and how you're helping others to navigate in their journeys as well?
Absolutely. So there was a time in my life when I did ask myself, is this it? This is like, I feel like a hamster on a wheel going round and round. This is like, if this is life, like, I just want to get off that wheel. This is like, not going anywhere. Nothing's happening for me. And I soon realized through journaling, that no. Life is just starting. Midlife is the new beginning. And for women, women are the people that are dear to my heart, but it's for everybody that's aging and getting older. But a lot of women, especially women, we've been brought up and programmed to people please. And so when we get to a certain age, I don't have my own children, but women that do have children, we get to a certain age and we have been doing something for someone else our entire lives. And then we go, is this it? And then their answer to their question most times is, well, I guess it is. I'm too old. I'm too old to do anything else. I'm too old to start something new. And I'm like, hell no. You're just getting started. This is the next chapter of your life. And if you plan to live a healthy life till you're at least 100, you've still got half your life to go. So you either keep doing what you're doing now, and how's that working for you? Or you start digging deep and try to remember the stuff that brought you joy before you had kids, before you got married, before you had all these responsibilities, and start trying them. Is there a business that you've been wanting to do, but you're afraid to fail? Fail! Fail tons of times because that's learning, not failure, right? I've failed a few times and now I have this beautiful company that I'm growing, and it happens slowly, but it's happening. And I'm living from courage, not fear. Use fear. Use fear as your wake up call and your guide to move you forward and to realize that there's so much more to life than taking care of everybody else. You know? It's your turn. It's your turn to embrace life. Like age, there is ageism. There's and there's just, yeah, like, but there's just so much more to life. And I see a movement happening with midlife women, especially. I do. I see it.
It sounds like you really bring a lot of courage to the table, because when people get reach a certain age and then the body starts naturally changing,
Hmm.
there can be this fear, and also this way of thinking of, I'm too old, or I'm already at this age, or like
Yeah.
the saying, a dog can't learn new tricks, which I don't like that saying, but that's a saying that many have in their minds.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
bring to the table, so what? Let's
So
let's
what?
let's go for it. What's your secret?
Showing up every day, even on bad days, and having the grace and compassion to acknowledge the bad days and not, what's the expression I used to hear all the time, and I just got rid of it. It's not allowed in my house, and it's cut with the negative vibes. Well, I'm sorry. If I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. It doesn't mean I'm going to stay in that bad day for days on end. Like recognizing that we can't be up here forever. We're going to have low days, but if you can learn how to live above the line most of the time,
Mhm.
right? Then you got it, and just every day show up for yourself. Do one small thing. Write a mantra. What is something you're grateful for every day if you can? If you forget, that's fine too, but every day write something you're grateful for. It works. You may not believe it in the beginning, and this is where, and I think I'm going to add it to my third journal. The latter comes in is if you want to say, I'm worthy, and you don't believe it. Well, what can you believe? I'm working on feeling worthy. And then go to the next rung and the next rung until you get up there and I'm worthy, right? So just show up. And on the days you can't, curl up in a blanket and watch a movie.
I really love what you said about showing up for yourself. It's something that I've been telling myself actually over the past month. And I say this because and for those who have listened to my podcast, this episode is going to be coming out a little later.
Okay.
But a month ago, and those who have listened know that I recently quit my job.
Mm,
My mentality was, I give so much for other people, for their businesses, or for their companies. I don't want to say people pleaser.
hmm
I would rather say that I just do my job. And I'm not thinking I'm people pleasing. I'm just thinking, I'm doing a job. I have to wait for the next year to do my vacation. I have to submit the days I'm on vacation or holiday. That's just life. And upon reflection and journaling personally, I
hmm
just had this idea of, well, Ryan, when the hell are you going to show up for yourself? I mean, you're showing up every day and there's
hmm
times where I've had three jobs, but when are you going to show up for yourself?
Yeah. And I would
And
challenge you that if you start showing up for yourself, you can actually show up as your authentic self for other people and even help people more than you already have been if you fill your cup first.
exactly. So it's really this all that you're saying is really like um connecting with me. And I hope that it connects with the audience as well because
I hope so too.
I've really seen the transformation. I mean, because if I didn't show up for myself, this podcast would be, I mean, it still would be going, but it would be going
Mhm,
like very stagnant. And for sure, I will not have connected with you or many of the other several people that I've connected with. It takes a
mhm.
leap of faith, but it feels so refreshing to
Yeah.
choose oneself and not to be afraid, oh, I should help, I should please other people.
Mhm.
It's okay to take care of oneself too.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, people say this all the time, but they say it for a reason. Think about when you're on a plane. What's one of the first things they tell you? Put your own oxygen mask on first. You can't help other people unless you help yourself first. Not fully.
Exactly, not
Not
fully.
fully. Yeah.
And so now I wanted to jump into the work that you do because
Hmm.
and you mentioned just briefly, you said, "Oh, I'm gonna put this in my third book, or third journal." So let's get into what are these journals and how can people in the audience learn more about it?
Sure. So my first journal is my Breathe, my baby. This is it right here. My Breathe guided mental health journal. I just launched the spiral for people who prefer spiral. Um, and that was the start. That was the start, I think, of my mission, of my journey into a completely different life. And so those are mental health guided journals that you can journal every day or whenever you have time to do it, and that's wonderful. But the third journal that I'm working on right now is a little different. It's guided, but it's a specific 3 month journey, and each month will be different prompts moving from stage one, then stage two, then stage three. It is focused mostly on midlife women, but listen, my Breathe journal, even though my avatar are midlife women, I've got a man who bought it who gave me a 2 minute video review on Amazon talking about how much he loved my journal. So I'm like, wow, right? So yeah, they all tell you that you have to have an avatar, but anybody can buy my journals. But this third journal, it's going to be called Letting Go, Exhale Fear, Inhale Courage. And the first month is going to be to help women, especially midlife women, get the fears out, get the limiting beliefs out, really dig into them. And there will be exercises to ground them. Then there'll be daily prompts for an entire month. There'll be like a activity in the middle of the month as well to kind of shake things up. And then the second month will be okay, so now that we've done this is our next step. There'll be different prompts, different activities. And then the third month, really truly moving into courage and how that's going to look for the rest of your life. And then what are your next steps? Then there's activities like writing to your past self, your future self writing to you now, different activities to really, really help. And in my community, in the Courage Collective community, mid January, I'm going to be starting that, even though the journal will not be published until probably spring or summer of next year because it's big and I'm bootstrapping my entire business. I will be doing that journey, that 3 month journey in my community called the Courage Collective with women starting mid January. So I'm very, very excited about that. I'm working on that content and moving it from the journal into that space. So very excited about it. Very, very excited. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm excited for you because you're doing all this work and you're really helping people to,
And helping
uh,
myself.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and you're just helping not only yourself, but you're helping people to believe that it's okay to be courageous and to
Yeah.
just go for it and show up for oneself.
Hmm. Hmm.
So where
I don't
can
have it all figured out, right? You know, Ryan, I don't have it all figured out. I'm not like completely healed or cured, and I never will be. It's a lifelong journey, you know? But I feel like I have a calling. I really do feel that deep down. And I've got tools and I've done a ton of healing and I feel like I can help people and I'm in a space to be able to do that. Yeah.
And where can people get your book? Is it only through Amazon? Can they get it through your website? What is your website?
The website is www.jewelswellnessjournals.com. So Jewels wellness, Wellness journals, JOURNALS.com, all one word. .com. But it will, because I haven't got it all set up to have my own checkout yet. So when you go onto my website, you'll find that those journals. You'll also find some print on demand that I had started with 2 or 3 years ago. When you click on to buy, it'll send you to Amazon. So basically,
Hmm.
right now, everything is on Amazon for both the US and Canada. You won't find my spiral on the website yet, but if you click on the Breathe journal, it'll take you to Amazon and you'll see both journals. You'll see both the bound and the spiral because I have it together as a variant. Um, and so, yeah, so if you go on my website, you can find everything because it'll just take you straight to Amazon. But don't be shopping around. Stay on my journals.
It- and it's also a great gift because right
Yeah.
now at the time of this recording, I'm not sure when it'll be uploaded, but at the time of this recording, it is November. We're getting ready for Christmas. So
Q4, fourth quarter. Yeah.
yeah, it's a great either if someone celebrates Christmas, it'd be a
Yeah.
great Christmas gift, or for the
Mhm.
new year,
Mhm.
maybe for a gift for yourself to prepare
Mhm.
you for 2026 and to get you in the mindset and to get you journaling with some good
Mhm.
prompts. It'd be a good gift either for someone you love or for yourself.
And if you're from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and watching this, because I'll be sharing it everywhere, you can get it straight from me. And
Awesome.
it's less expensive from me because I cut out Amazon. Yeah, but yeah, so if you had asked me 6 or 7 years ago if I'd have a YouTube page, if I'd have a community, like I'd be like, what are you talking about? I have a job. I have a full-time job. I'm not an entrepreneur. My husband's an entrepreneur. I'm not like really, truly, if you had asked me 6 years ago, I would have honestly told you, no, no, this is my life. This is it. And now I'm like, oh my God, if I can do it, anybody can do it, especially from the background I grew up in. Like anybody can do it. Just show up one day at a time.
I love that. And now to wrap up this episode, I'm going to ask you the question that I
Okay.
ask all of my guests, and that is, Jules, what is your truth that heals?
My truth that heals is that, you know, life is beautiful. Life is precious and it's fucking hard as well. You know, it's not easy. Life is not easy. It's never going to be easy, but it's beautiful and it's worth it. And even on the bad days, you just have to know that it's not that bad. That bad feeling, that bad moment is not going to last. You need to ride the waves. And that if you show up for yourself every day, and even if you're asking yourself what your calling is, if you're not quite sure what your calling is, what your mission is, I think it'll show up. Like, what are you good at? What brings joy to your life? What are you passionate about? Not what you think you should do because it might make you money, because the money will follow, the universe will listen to you. But it's not going to be easy. But at the same time, I just think that this world, this beautiful world we live in, like, we are very lucky to have been born into this world. Like, if you look around at the planets and Earth and nature and all of this, it's just, and all the garbage that we throw at it. Like if we cease to exist, Earth would just take a deep breath and start over. So I just believe that life is hard. It is. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but life is worth it. And I've gone through phases in my life where I was saying, "What is this it?" And I just, because I grew up poor, and I grew up, I'm the only one in my family that graduated from high school. I've done my master's. I've traveled. None of my family traveled, and I was able to experience. I have been able to experience life very differently than the family that brought me up. I'm adopted, which is why I say it that way, and I just thank God I was able to see the world in a much bigger picture, I don't know. I could probably go on and on. Like your question, like there's just so much. That's a big question. It's a loaded question. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jules, for sharing your truth that heals. And to the audience, please feel free to check out her book. I'll be leaving a link to Jules' website in the show notes.
Mhm.
Also, please feel free to like this episode if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're listening to it on Spotify, please give a review. That always helps. Please share this episode so more people can encounter the beautiful truth that heals presented today by our guest, Jules. And if you would like to help me and my podcast, you can do so by buying me a coffee. So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/truth that H7. I'll be leaving that in the show notes as well because it helps and caffeine helps me as well. So anyways, thank you everyone for tuning in, and to Jules, thank you so much for being a guest on the Truth That Heals podcast.
Thank you for having me.